Okay, had a very spirited practice today. It was really focused on just us getting better. We went a little bit old school and did some one-on-one drills and just tried to get better. We let our guys compete a little bit too, which I thought was very good, and really feel like we improved in all three phases. Had some situations at the end, some 2-minute situations that get a chance to go good on good, and I thought that was good. Also with that. Last night as well, I dismissed Duke Williams from our team. I gave him a chance to prove himself, and like I said in my statement, disappointed it didn't work out. Our team will be fine, and we'll move on.
Questions?
Who does that kind of open playing time up for you?
Well, I think what we talked about is this opportunity, and you got a Ricardo Lewis, you've got Melvin Ray, you got Tony Stevens, you got guys that we feel very good about, and then also what it does opens up opportunities for some young guys to step up, and we feel good about our receiving crew, and you could see some really good energy out of the receiving crew today.
Just what was the nature of the incident that led to this dismissal?
I'm not going to get into details regarding that. That's between us, and he's dismissed from the team.
Were any of the players involved?
I'm not going to get any details.
How tough was it for you just to make that decision, Gus? I mean, Duke, you've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
You know how good he is.
Anytime you have to make a tough call and dismiss a player, it's not easy. But at the same time, this is a team sport, and you're always going to think about the team first. And you give people chances, you give opportunities for people to prove themselves. And the bottom line, but it's not easy, and it shouldn't be easy. I mean, for a coach, but you got to do what's best for your team.
How would you sum up his time here at Auburn?
I've seen him grow as a person when he was here, and I think this place was good for him, and we wish him nothing but the best for the future.
How do the rest of the players react to the dismissal?
We've got a really close team, and they responded very well to practice today. And this is a team, and this is a strong team, and we got good leaders moving forward. And like I said, there was great energy at practice today. The guys responded extremely well, and I feel like we got better.
Is he staying in school?
No,
And so he won't be living with Jeremy going forward? That's
he's not on the team.
Who are your leaders?
Mainly our seniors, and I think they've done a good job as of late leading us, and we always lean on our seniors.
So there's not one specific guy you can turn to rather than just 18 guys?
No, usually there's one or two that steps up on the field, but as far as off the field stuff, it's really a collective leadership group of seniors.
Gus, how's Jalen Harris doing? Can you update his status?
He's physically okay. I think emotionally that was a tough deal. I mean, that was a very scary deal, and we're counting our blessings for him. And he'll be back. He wasn't out there with us today, but I feel like he'll probably be back before the week's out, and we're just letting him heal up emotionally. That's a scary deal.
As far as the situation at quarterback, I mean, how wide open is that competition right now?
Right now this week we decided, all positions to open up with competition, and really think that's good, especially in an off week. So we're just letting them play. We feel good about the way that Sean responded the last 2 games. Really feel like he did some good stuff, showed us some toughness, but at the same time we're letting our guys compete.
Would you have handled the situation in August any differently with Duke when you made the decision?
No, I feel good about the process that led us up to this point. Like I said, the biggest thing is you're disappointed when you have to get rid of a player, and you hope that things would be different, and you hope that he would respond differently. But no, I feel fine about the process, and just disappointed it didn't work out.
What was his reaction when you told him?
Not much.
He was being double teamed a lot out of that wide position, especially. How confident are you that with Ricardo being the only guy in double-digit catches right now, how confident are you that he can handle that going forward? It's something that he hasn't really dealt with.
You talking about Ricardo?
Yeah.
Ricardo's a guy that's been in our system for 3 years and really has made some big-time plays at some big-time moments, the last couple of years. And kind of like I said in preseason, I think he's in a position to really take that next step forward. And he's been a little banged up. You know, the last couple of weeks hadn't had full weeks of practice, and he's probably played at somewhere around 75%. And so we're hoping to rest him up this week. But you know, you can really see his urgency stepping up. Melvin Ray's another guy that has made a lot of big plays for us. You know, and he's a senior guy. And you know, Marcus Davis is a guy that's kind of been under the radar, that has playmaking ability too. So we feel good about our receivers, and we really expect them to make some plays.
You're confident that they can handle double teams, though?
You know, I'm confident in all our guys. I mean, you know, when they're double teamed, you know, you need to get the ball to the single coverage, you know, but I'm confident in all of our receivers.
When it was mostly mental and confidence related with Jeremy, how do you evaluate changes there or improvements there? There's not a statistic for that, so how do you evaluate that on practice?
Well, you evaluate, you know, all positions and in all areas, you know, and you put them in opportunities to prove themselves. And as a coach, you know, our job is to get our guys better. And whatever that means, get our guys better. And you know, that's what we're committed to doing, not just the quarterback position, but all of our positions.
Gus, with,
On Tiger Talk that Jeremy had 2 good weeks of practice leading up to that game the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, does he look like a different kind of guy from the guy we saw at LSU? I mean, is he kind of got out of that funk?
Yeah, I mean, he looks more comfortable, and like I said, he had 2 good weeks of practice, and so you know, hopefully that'll be a good thing, you know, for the rest of the year.
Gus, you feel like with the defense somewhat shorthanded,
Yeah.
the need to score more points, that you got to open up the offense
Yeah.
more than what it's been like?
Yeah, there's no doubt we need to open it up more, and we need more explosive plays, and we need to throw the ball down the field a little bit more, and you know, so it's kind of all the above, and kind of like I said the other day, when you get to catch your breath in an open week, you get to evaluate everything. And bottom line is the offense needs to have more explosive plays. It needs to get in better rhythm. It needs to score more points. And so that's what we're doing this week, getting a plan together. But you're exactly right. We got to start making plays down the field.
On Stanton Truitt, he didn't play Saturday. How's he doing?
Yeah,
Expecting back soon?
he did a few things today. You know, it's that fine line this week of getting our guys better, but then the guys have been a little banged up, getting them healthy. So it's kind of, you know, one of those things that some of the guys are doing some things this week, but our main goal is to get them healthy for the stretch run. Stanton's one of those guys.
How are you on the injury front on the offensive and defensive lines right now?
You know, I think we're okay. I mean, you know, as far as Carl Lawson, you know, obviously with him, but everybody else this week is good, that we can get some good work in, but we can heal some of the guys up, but there's nothing major, put it that way.
Is Trey Williams okay?
He was out there today. He was in that category, did some things, you know, and, you know, we feel pretty confident that all the guys will be back, you know, for next Thursday game, other than Carl Lawson.
Rock entered the season as the starter before he got injured, so how's he kind of dealt with taking I guess a bit of a backseat to Peyton since he's kind of had this breakthrough?
Him and Peyton are very close, and, you know, he definitely did a good job for us on Saturday. You could see more of Rock Thomas. You know, he had a couple really good plays, one in the passing game and a couple in the running game. So, you know, you could see his role expand.
He seemed to be showing more power, I guess, than flash and speed in that game. How would you kind of describe his skill set? Because he said he feels like some of his power, I guess, is overlooked sometimes.
Well, he did. You're exactly right. You know, he ran over a couple guys, kept his feet moving, and you could really tell he was determined. And, you know, a lot of that comes with confidence, too. And, you know, him being a second-year guy, getting more carries, you know, getting more confidence, and, you know, he's getting better.
Gus, how do you deal with situations where guys express frustration, I guess, on social media, which in turn gets fans riled up and wondering what's going on? How much do y'all talk about that, and how do you deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you try to educate your players the power of social media, and you know, you talk with them, and you know, you do the best you can. We live in a different world right now with social media and expression and all that, but this is a team sport, and it's a team thing, and so we always just talk about our guys about you know, those things.
You brought up injuries before, so is TJ Davis going? Do you expect
He's
him
back
to
out there. We're hoping that he has a chance to come back on Thursday. We'll probably know more by the end of the week, but he's a guy that's been practicing, I think, for 3 weeks and just trying to get that confidence back.
On the freshman receivers haven't played, Ryan Davis,
Yep.
is it a possibility he might play?
It is possible, and you know, he was out there today, made a couple good plays, and You know, he's also doing a couple special teams too. So those two freshman receivers both will have a chance to help us, you know, moving forward.
So Gus, you mentioned, you went old school and did some one-on-one drills.
Yeah.
Would that include the Oklahoma drill? Could you tell us more specifics about
Yeah,
that?
we didn't actually go Oklahoma drill, but we did some one-on-one special teams drills and taking on blockers and just some old school. And then after practice, did a little bit with the offense, defensive line, and it was pretty spirited and it was good. Thank y'all.